Creative Brain Candy by creators for creators.
Welcome to day one recap of the PCA 2021 Trade Show. I'm James from Simply Stogies Podcast. This is Tim from Simply Stogies Cigars and Coffee, simplystogies.com. So yeah, go to simplystogies.com. You can check out all the great content there. You check out the Instagram live at instagram.com/Simply Stogies Podcast. If you haven't, great interview from, or not really an interview.
It wasn't an interview.
No, it was a great spot by Terrence Riley from Aganorsa Leaf.
Great spot.
Yeah.
So
we were pretty pleased to have him on day one. So this is weird. I know we talked about it a little bit in the teaser video that we did earlier, and this will probably be a lot longer of a video because we're going to give our thoughts on the first day. But for me, this is the first time that we have been to the PCA. And I know for a lot of media folks, it is old hat by now, as I'll have to edit all of that out.
I tried to be real careful, so hopefully you won't have to edit that out, but whatever.
For a lot of folks, it's old hat, and they know what to expect. And I didn't ask anybody.
That's untrue. You actually asked a few people, and they said that this year's a little bit different than what they've seen in the past.
Maybe, but I didn't ask anybody before we came, so we didn't really know what to expect. So day zero, we get here, or day one. I still think it's more like day zero.
Yeah, I would say more like day zero, yeah.
They opened up the trade show at 10 o'clock this morning for registration, and then you could go into the trade show. So we went in, and I was expecting the trade show to happen today.
Yeah, no, I was as well, yeah.
And it wasn't. We walked in, and there were pallets everywhere. There were forklifts,
we
taking
were
things around.
We had the camera going, and we expected to walk through the doors and just this trade show be going on. And we walked in, we're like,
when you see the intro to this video, that's like we walked in. There's just nobody, and nothing was really complete yet. There were booths that were somewhat complete, but so there were
some that hadn't even really been started yet.
Yeah, there were a lot that hadn't been started yet. So we walked around and we saw some folks who were still putting together stuff and putting product out and getting things ready for the trade show that actually, I guess, kind of technically starts tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
But today was an education day. They had a couple of different breakouts where the PCA talked about retail post-COVID. They talked about what was it? Grassroots, FDA, politics stuff. And we didn't go to any of that. We probably should have, but we didn't.
Yeah.
But we did go around. We talked to a lot of people. We obviously ran into Terrence Riley from Aganorsa, and he was kind enough.
Oh, yeah. He was
we
such
saw
a
him
cool
at the
guy.
bar.
Yeah.
Great guy. Like, if you're part of simplystogies.club, you know that a couple of years ago, we got to have him on in the club do an AMA, and I was lucky enough to host that. He remembered that. He remembered me. And his rep was there that I actually met just a few weeks ago at the Queen City Cigar Fest in Charlotte. And he's like, I knew you looked familiar. And so Terrence is like, just stop by later this afternoon. He's like, and I'll do the thing for you. I'll talk about, because I want to give the manufacturers an opportunity to tell you, the consumer, about all the new stuff that's coming out and their PCA exclusives and all the good stuff that they got going on. Terrence did a great job, and he was kind enough. He gave us his 40th birthday was just a few months ago, and so he gave us a cigar that he had rolled specifically for himself. Yeah,
just for him.
For him.
Like, you can't get it.
For his 40th birthday, and it was amazing. It was
a good cigar, yeah.
So yeah, that was fun. And I'll be honest with everybody, like, because I'm beat.
Yeah, I think we both are.
Yeah, I am absolutely beat. It's been a long day of walking around the Palazzo, the Venetian, and trying to talk with a lot of people. But when I came in yesterday, I was kind of like, man, this is like, it's either going to re-energize me for what I'm doing and what we're trying to do with simplystogies.com and the podcast and Simply Stogies Cigars and Coffee and all of the things that we're doing, the reviews, or it's going to just break me and I'm just not going to want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I think even if it re-energizes you, I think it will still break you. Because you are beaten up.
I am beaten up. I am beaten to shit.
Yeah, I just pulled him apart from the fetal position on the couch, trying to recover from getting back to the hotel room.
Right, and we still might go out after this. Like, we've got room service coming. We still might go out after this. So we ran into a lot of great people, and really that it really has energized me. And I'm super excited for tomorrow. We're going to talk with the guy from Hiram & Solomon.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to because I like a lot of their cigars. We're going to talk with Robin Blue from Blue Smoke ATL.
Really excited about that. Yeah.
Right. And she's been on the podcast before. So make sure you check that episode out. Great episode where she talks about how she got into the hobby and now she sells her pokers, her handmade pokers. She's got a lot of cool stuff coming out. She's doing beads now, so I'm excited for her and excited to show you guys what she's got going on. Obviously, you've already seen Terrence and what he's got going on at Aganorsa Leaf. Vlada Stoyanov from Castagli. We're going to talk to him.
We're still trying to find him.
We're still trying to find him. We can't find him.
We promise we will find him.
Dean Parsons, Epic Cigars.
We saw him.
And he's going to come on the podcast at some point. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about that. Lucas De Silva. We ran into Lucas De Silva.
Yeah, such a great guy.
From Oxford Cigar Company.
So glad to have met him.
He is awesome. I got to sit down with him in Orlando a couple of months ago. I think in May. And that was a great interview. And he's just such a great, genuine guy. And his business is fantastic. OxfordCigars.com. If you haven't ordered from them, order from them. And he's doing a lot of great stuff with Dean.
Yeah.
From Epic. So they got a lot of stuff coming up. So keep an eye on them. We ran into Glenn Loop. The PCA, formerly CRA, and so we're going to talk with him at some point this week.
Yep.
Harrison from CRA.
We're going to
have a couple of people from the CRA on, and they're going to talk about what the CRA does. But besides all of the stuff that we're going to talk about, we're going to highlight these folks in the industry and what they're doing and all the stuff they got coming up. Crown Heads, hopefully John Huber. Talk with Dave, the Midwest sales rep, who I've met several times.
Yep,
and
great,
he's just
another
a fantastic
great
dude.
Yeah.
Besides all of that, like what there seems to be a cloud, in my opinion, hanging over the PCA. This year specifically. And I know I've heard this from people who've come to the PCA trade shows before, and they have said almost every year that they come, it's not like it was last year. It's not like it was last year.
Well, it definitely wasn't. It definitely is not like it was last year. But 2 years ago,
it's definitely not like it was.
Definitely not that.
And it's no secret that the amount of vendors that they have, and I don't have the exact number, and I honestly, it doesn't matter.
We just know it's lower.
It's much, much lower. I know at some point in 2019, I think they had over 300 vendors, and this year it's under 100, or might be
it's
right
what
around
I've
100.
heard.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not,
I don't
but
know.
that's
and it doesn't really matter. The question that I have, and I think everybody has, is what is the PCA doing to bring everybody back under one umbrella? I mean, we could talk about TPE and we could talk about how that's taking people away, but why are people leaving in the first place? So I think that is a big black cloud that's going to hang over the show. Look, talking to these industry guys and talking to the guys in the know, there's a lot of different things going on. But I mean, we're in the middle, or maybe even the beginning still, of a big cigar boom. And we've talked about this on the program, Tim. When we go to lounges for cigars and coffee, and Tales from the Lounge, our Buy Me a Coffee.
Yep. We always
show.
ask retailers how business has been since the pandemic.
Exactly, because the pandemic has affected people in a way that is profound, and we're still recovering from that financially, economically, as a global economy.
Sure.
So But we've asked these folks, and they're all up year over year. I don't think that's a big secret.
So business is good.
Business is very good for the cigar industry. So if business is very good for the cigar industry, why is there so much infighting? Why is there so much strife? Why is there so much drama? I don't know. And will we get those answers here? Probably not.
Yeah, I'm going to assume not.
Probably not. Because even as consumers, the trade show's going on. It's what's new. What's new? My concern is, and I don't know how widely my concern is shared with others in the industry, but my personal concern is if the PCA goes away, if they can't get people back under one tent, so to speak, and the PCA goes away, who takes up that fight?
Well,
won't be the TPE.
That's a good question, but also are the different organizations actively trying to bring everybody back under one umbrella?
I don't know. I think that's
I kind of feel like right now there's these different organizations that are individually trying to make good, but they can't do it on their own. They have to come together, but nobody wants to come together.
But here's the thing. Here's the takeaway for me from day one.
Okay.
This is a people business. It's a people industry. It's
100%.
driven by people. The cigar it's the common denominator, right? It's the great equalizer.
Yep.
I've said, from kings to street sweepers and everybody in between. They can sit down, they can have a cigar, and they can have a conversation. So why in an industry that is built around something that is so communal, why can't we have this community? Because when you go to the things, we just got done with the after party, hosted by Crown Heads,
which
Espinosa Cigars, and
was
Ace Prime.
a great party.
It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great party.
If you caught the Instagram live, yeah, it was great. We were hanging out with Lucas. Anya Ramirez,
Anya
showed up.
Oh my goodness,
Karen Berger, and she
such a great gal.
Like, if you listen to that last episode, she's got her own brand that she's coming out with, the Don Fausto. She got those in. She had one for me. So I can't wait to smoke that. I want to smoke that with a fresh palate.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to that. But all these great people doing great things and getting along, why is there so much strife? I guess I just don't understand it. And maybe it's not for me to understand, because who am I? I'm just a podcaster. I'm just a guy who likes to talk a lot. Is basically what I am.
And I'm the pack mule that carries everything around for you.
You are indeed the pack mule. But let's get back to happier things.
Yeah.
That's the big black cloud, like I said, that's hanging over. But Yanni from the Vintage and Daniel, they were here. They rolled up on me in the at the after party. And so it
was kind of crazy to actually see that, because I was just kind of hanging back, smoking my cigar, and it was like about every 3 to 5 minutes, somebody would just be like, "Oh my God, James, what's up?" And just come hang out at the table.
That's actually what happened, but sure.
Same thing. It did. People recognized you from past meetings and came up and
from
hung
past
out.
meetings. Yeah, no one's like, "Oh, you're the guy from Simply Stogies podcast."
Oh, come on.
We did meet Rob from Boveda.
Yeah, we did.
Which was great. And Boveda does their video series and their podcast.
That was actually a shock
product
for me when I met him.
Right.
I was like, wait,
Lucas,
hold on. Seriously? I know you.
Lucas introduced us. He's like, I listened to that podcast. I'm like, oh, so you're the one.
Yeah, you're the thank you, my one faithful listener. Yeah.
Thank you. So it's fun to meet these guys, and it's fun to come together and kind of celebrate it. And I'm really looking forward, because I know that a lot of these companies have some great stuff going on. Placencia has the chip in their bands that I think is really interesting, that I think everybody should be aware of. Crown Heads has a ton of stuff coming out.
Excited.
I'm super excited about that. Castagli just launched their Villa Castagli line, which I'm dying to try. I've got
Hopefully
a box.
we find
I've got a box at home. Yeah, Vlad, where are you, man?
Where are you?
You're killing me, man.
Running joke.
You're killing me. It is a running joke. So hopefully we'll run into him. But there's just, everyone's here. I've seen Rocky Patel is running around, Nick Perdomo running around, Pete Johnson running around. It's fun to see these guys in their element, because for the most part, when you see them, when you go to an event somewhere and you see them, they're in sales mode. I guess to some extent they are here as well, but it's fun to see them kind of doing their thing and
running
having
100
fun.
miles per hour.
They really are.
Yeah.
Like all these guys, like we saw Dean today. And Dean, I'm like, I've said he's the hardest working guy in the cigar industry. Cause he does it all himself and he goes everywhere, but like, he's just sweating and like, he's like, I'm going over here, but I'll get with you. So, it's fun. It's good. I think I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Getting out there and getting people on the record and letting you guys know all of the great stuff that they have coming out and just kind of networking. Because again, this is a communal hobby. It's a communal lifestyle. It's something that is a mini celebration every time you light up. And I think sometimes in the business world, in the business side of things, that gets lost.
Sure.
And this should be the time that it's celebrated. I think for the most part it is, but they let the internal politics cloud that and come between them. And that's kind of why, the black cloud's hanging over the PCA this year, and hopefully next year we'll see more people here. But yeah, like the Venetian has been fantastic. It's just a great spot. If you ever come to Vegas, like the Venetian or the Venetian is a place to go. It is. It's gigantic. Trust me, it's gigantic. 17,000 steps today. 17,000. Like, do I look
That's
like
more steps than he does all year.
Do I look like a guy who does 17,000 steps in a day? No, the answer to that is no. I'm very self-aware. That
was hard for me. I I took my watch off. I don't even know how many steps I did. But
right. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of steps. But yeah, when you're in Vegas, go to Enfuego in Henderson. Man, that place is awesome.
Yeah, we're going to go there.
Yeah, I think we're going to go there later.
Yeah.
I need to get a hold of the owner, but there's going to be a lounge review coming up for them. Fantastic spot. Like if you like boutique cigars like I do, that like their humidor, like it's
nice,
very well curated with a lot of boutiques, and some of the stuff that I hadn't heard of. There's a new company, Big Sky.
Really,
he had me try their minnow. Andy there at Enfuego is like, you gotta try the minnow. It's just this little perfecto, but in a small vitola, in a perfecto shape.
Was it good?
Dare I say, better than the short story. Like I need a box of those for those harsh Midwest winters when it's minus 35 degrees out, as opposed to those harsh July summers in Las Vegas where
triple digits.
It is roughly the surface temperature of the sun.
Real close.
117 today.
Did it get up to 117?
117.
Damn.
Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, so I think that's like, what's your big takeaway for today, Tim?
Everything was kind of like up and down because we kind of got up this morning and we were pumped, we're excited, and then we walked and we kind of got up and got around a little early, but we walked into that trade room floor and we saw forklifts and pallets and boxes. We're like, are we a week early?
Right.
And that kind of like took me, it just kind of just like a nosedive.
You kind of you walk in and you expect a lot of people. Like we thought, I told him, I said, let's get there right at 10 so that we can get registered. And
we were early thinking there was going to be a line around
out
the corner.
Door, and there was nothing. Like we waited. And even Erin from the PCA, she was like, yeah, we were expecting a rush and we've got nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a takeaway right there for the PCA. They should look at that. But then the flip side to that coin where they're like, there was no rush, is the after party tonight.
Yeah.
Packed house.
Yeah, it was pretty full. I think that was probably about 50% of the total attendees. And I'm just throwing out random numbers.
Yes, you are.
But I feel like that was a fraction of the total attendees, but it was packed.
It was packed.
It was a good turnout.
It's fun when we walk through the bar and I see Scott Weeks from Recluse, who I met at the Queen City Cigar Fest. And I'm like, Scotty, I will call you. We need to sit down and talk. So I'll stop by his booth. He's got a booth. He told me he wasn't going to the PCA when I talked to him in May, and now
things
he's
change.
here. Yeah, he's here. So good on him for coming in and supporting him with Iconic Cigar Leaf. So we'll stop by his booth. We'll talk with him. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a lot of great people in the industry, and like I said, I really wish that some of the camaraderie and the networking that you see here would translate year round. And I get it
for sure.
I get it. It's a business. But and I always go back to this.
But it's a people business.
It's a people business,
Yeah.
And I always go back to this, but the two guys that I look at as kind of the standard bearer for what the industry should be are Anthony Goins and Stacy in Nebraska, in Lincoln, Nebraska, with Cigars Lounge and Capital Cigar Lounge. They're in the same city, best friends.
Work together. Make it beneficial for everybody.
A rising tide raises all ships. I invite you to go back and listen to that podcast. It was last year, January, February 2020.
Yeah.
It was a great podcast. It was great to have them on and kind of get that. And I feel like there needs to be more of that. Like the retailers that I talk to that we know, they're not coming. They're not coming to the PCA Trade Show. And they said, we're not coming because we can get the deals without having to be at the trade show. So,
and I don't think that's supposed to happen. I think
that used to be the case where it's not supposed to happen, but we understand it does happen, but
right. But then it was just kind of one of those things where it's like
now it's kind of like a free for all.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the sales,
which is why the PCA is having PCA exclusives. And again, the flip side to that coin is, it might be a different Vitola, but it's the same blend that everyone's had for a while. It's nothing.
Right.
So some of the retailers are like,
in some cases,
they're like, nah, don't want to do that. Yeah, in some cases, not in all, but in some. So I'm looking forward to day 2. I think day 2 is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be busy. I am beat. I am dead tired. But
anybody want to put a wager on how far James makes it into day 2?
About 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's probably pretty safe.
10 a.m. I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, I think day 2 for us is going to be a lot of B-roll footage, a lot of finalizing interviews, appointments, things like that. And then 3, 4, and 5 is just going to be following up on those appointments. So it should, be a rough 2 days up front.
Yeah.
And hopefully settle down.
Coast out of the weekend. I'm here through Tuesday, probably leave Tuesday morning and start heading to Phoenix. So look for that. I really wanted, so when we started this trip, or when I started my trip, I really wanted to do a lot more Instagram lives and reels and things like that on social media to tell you about, where I'm at, what I'm doing. But honestly, like I hit Omaha and I talked with Jeff and Mary Dahl at Safari Cigars.
Safari, yeah.
That was fun, and talked with them, and they were great because they were there. I didn't expect. I was just going to go in, smoke a cigar, and then leave. Nothing was really open in Cheyenne, Wyoming. By the time I got there,
it's
which
Wyoming.
It was like 7 or 8 at night. It wasn't like it was late, but there were no cigar lounges open. In fact, one cigar lounge didn't open until like Wednesday.
Well, I mean,
like, okay, well, whatever. I went to Salt Lake. Great place, Genie Cigar Lounge or Genie Cigar Shop. Forgive me, I'm tired, but fantastic. Rod and Eric were fantastic there. They got a huge humidor, and really they're the only ones that I think I've talked to retailer wise that have said that they weren't up year over year. Like the pandemic really hit them hard at their downtown location, which is where I went in Salt Lake. But yeah, it will be a lounge review coming out for them here in the next month or so. So look for that, simplystogies.com as well. But yeah, I'm going to be on the way out of here. The plan is to go through Phoenix, hit Fox Cigars. I want to hit the Cedar Room. There's a couple of different places I want to try to hit while I'm in Phoenix. And then from there, it's kind of like open. Like, I don't know where I'm going to go. I think I'm going to end in St. Louis and then hit back.
Sounds like you're going to hit a lot of really great places on the way home. So hopefully you do a little bit of Instagram.
Yeah, like if you're not subscribed to the channel, go there.
Unfortunately, I can't drive back. I have to fly home. So
well, he says unfortunately, but for me, it's I can drive without the radio on, and it's just silence, and it's very nice.
Well, that's a wrap, folks. Pizza hopefully will be here momentarily.
Let's get some food in us, and then we'll see if I've got a second wind and maybe head down to the bar area and hang out with Lucas some more from Oxford Cigar Company. Like, I don't want to shill for anybody because that's not what we do here.
I'm definitely going to buy something from him. I mean, I just met him today. I mean, I've listened to him on the podcast. Just met him today. Such a cool guy. Honestly,
back,
genuinely
genuine,
cares about his product and cares about his customers. I'm going to support that all day long.
Yeah, they've got new bags in that are very nice.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
So, check them out. OxfordCigarCompany.com. But yeah, there's a lot of great people here. So we might try to head back down there. It's packed. It's cramped though. Like,
it's crazy.
So maybe we can find a place to smoke and kind of relax with some folks here at the Plaza. But for now, that's the day 1, day 0 recap, whatever you want to call it. Tomorrow, day 2, we'll get back at it. Instagram Live, first thing in the morning before we get out and about. So look forward to that. We'll tell you what we're looking forward to.
Hopefully it works better tomorrow than it did today. Today, Instagram, it was pretty bad.
Trying new things out. What do you want? But yeah, I think that's it. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Lots of great stuff coming out from the PCA 2021 trade show. So look for all of that on Instagram and simplystogies.com. That's Tim. I'm James. Stay smoky, friends.